That cold, tingling feeling in your legs after 60? Most people think it's just aging. They're wrong. The common advice says take a baby aspirin, wear compression socks, and hope for the best. But here's what nobody tells you. Poor circulation in your legs is often a vitamin deficiency problem, not just a plumbing issue. I spent 15 years researching vascular health and nutritional interventions, and I've seen what happens when people finally address the root cause. In the next few minutes, I'm going to show you exactly 3 vitamins that can transform blood flow to your legs. We'll cover the right forms, the right doses, and the right timing. Most importantly, why your doctor probably never mentioned them. But here's the thing. The first vitamin on this list shocked me when I first discovered the research. It's not what you'd expect, and it might explain why everything else you've tried hasn't worked. Stay with me. Let's start with the vitamin that surprised me most, the one that flies completely under the radar when it comes to circulation. Vitamin E. Wait, you might be thinking, vitamin E, the stuff in multivitamins, the one that got a bad reputation years ago? Yes, but hear me out, because the story is more complicated than the headline suggested, and the details matter enormously for your leg circulation. First, the science. Vitamin E is a powerful antioxidant. It protects the fatty membranes around your cells, including the cells lining your blood vessels. When those membranes get damaged by oxidative stress, vessels become stiff. They don't dilate properly. Blood flow suffers. But here's what makes vitamin E particularly relevant for leg circulation. It helps prevent blood platelets from clumping together excessively. Think of it as nature's blood thinner. Not as aggressive as medication, but supportive. It also improves something called erythrocyte deformability. That's a fancy term for how flexible your red blood cells are. They need to squeeze through tiny capillaries to deliver oxygen to your legs and feet. When they're rigid, they get stuck. Traffic jams in your microcirculation. Vitamin E keeps them flexible, keeps traffic moving. Now here's why most people get this wrong. They take the wrong form. Most supplements contain only alpha tocopherol. That's just one of 8 natural forms of vitamin E. When you take high doses of alpha tocopherol alone, it actually depletes the other forms from your body. This creates an imbalance, and that imbalance is what some of the negative studies picked up on. The solution is mixed tocopherols, a supplement that contains alpha, beta, gamma, and delta tocopherols together, the way nature packages them in food. Gamma tocopherol is especially important for vascular health. It has anti-inflammatory properties that alpha tocopherol lacks. Most vitamin E supplements contain 0 gamma tocopherol. Look for supplements labeled full-spectrum vitamin E, or mixed tocopherols with gamma tocopherol listed prominently on the ingredient panel. Dose range for circulation support is typically 200 to 400 IU daily. Always take it with a fat-containing meal. Vitamin E is fat-soluble. Without fat, you won't absorb it properly. A handful of nuts, some avocado or olive oil on your salad works. Timing can be breakfast or dinner, whatever meal has more fat content. One important caution: if you're on blood-thinning medication like warfarin, talk to your doctor before adding vitamin E. The combination can increase bleeding risk. This doesn't mean you can't take it, it means your medication dose might need adjustment. Let me tell you about James. He's 69, former marathon runner. Hadn't run in years because of a condition called intermittent claudication, pain in his calves when walking that forced him to stop every 100 feet. His cardiologist had him on standard medications. They helped, but he'd plateaued. Still couldn't walk more than a quarter mile without pain. We talked about adding mixed tocopherols, 300 IU daily with dinner. He was skeptical. Vitamin E felt old-fashioned to him, like something from his mother's medicine cabinet. He tried it anyway. 4 months later, he sent me a photo. He'd completed a 2-mile walk on a hiking trail near his home. No stopping, minimal pain. Was it just the vitamin E? Probably not. He'd also made other changes we'll discuss in a moment. Everything works together, but he specifically credited the vitamin E with what he called taking the edge off, making each walk a little easier than before, building momentum. Now this brings me to the second vitamin, and this one is the heavy hitter, the most important of the 3. Vitamin B12. This affects nearly half of all adults over 60, and almost none of them know it. Here's what happens inside your body. When B12 levels drop, an amino acid called homocysteine starts building up in your blood. Think of homocysteine like tiny shards of glass floating through your arteries. It damages the delicate lining of your blood vessels, creates inflammation, makes your arteries stiff and narrow. The result? Blood struggles to reach your legs and feet. You get that heavy, tired feeling, the numbness, the cramping at night. Now here's the critical part. Standard blood tests often miss B12 deficiency. Your levels can look normal on paper while your cells are literally starving for this vitamin. Why does this happen after 60? Simple. Your stomach produces less acid as you age. You need that acid to absorb B12 from food. So even if you're eating plenty of meat, fish, and eggs, you might be absorbing almost nothing. Add certain medications to the mix like metformin for diabetes or proton pump inhibitors for acid reflux, and absorption drops even further. So what do you actually do about it? First, get tested properly. Ask specifically for methylmalonic acid and homocysteine levels, not just serum B12. These markers catch deficiency earlier. Second, choose the right form. Look for methylcobalamin, not cyanocobalamin. Methylcobalamin is the active form your body can use immediately. No conversion needed. The dose that makes a difference for circulation, research points to 1,000 to 2,000 micrograms daily. Yes, that sounds high, but B12 is water-soluble. Your body takes what it needs and eliminates the rest. Sublingual tablets work best. You dissolve them under your tongue. This bypasses your gut entirely, goes straight into your bloodstream. Let me tell you about Margaret. She's 67, came to one of my seminars 3 years ago. Her legs felt like lead weights by 3 p.m. every day. She'd already tried compression socks, tried walking more, even tried prescription blood thinners for a while. Nothing made a real difference. Her doctor had checked her B12 once, said it was fine at 350, but when we looked at her homocysteine, it was elevated at 14. The sweet spot is under 8. She started methylcobalamin, 1,500 micrograms daily, under the tongue every morning. 6 weeks later, she told me she'd walked 2 miles without stopping for the first time in years. The heaviness was gone. The tingling happened less frequently. B12 didn't cure everything, but it addressed something that had been silently sabotaging her circulation for years. If you're finding this helpful, do me a quick favor. Hit that subscribe button right now. Not because I'm asking, but because the information in these videos could genuinely change your health trajectory. And I don't want you to miss what's coming next. Every week, we go deeper on topics just like this. Topics your doctor doesn't have time to explain. One click, that's all it takes. Now let's talk about the third vitamin, and this one works hand in hand with B12. They're a team. Vitamin B6. Remember that homocysteine we talked about? The stuff that damages your blood vessels? Your body needs B6 to clear it out. B12 handles one pathway. B6 handles another. Without both, homocysteine keeps accumulating. But B6 does something else that's directly relevant to leg circulation. It helps your body produce nitric oxide. This is the molecule that tells your blood vessels to relax and widen. More nitric oxide means more blood flow. Less means constriction, pressure, and poor delivery of oxygen to your tissues. Here's the problem. Deficiency rates for B6 climb sharply after 50. Some studies suggest up to 20% of older adults are deficient. Others show subclinical deficiency, where levels are low enough to cause symptoms but not low enough to flag on standard tests, affects even more. Symptoms overlap with so many other conditions that B6 deficiency often gets missed entirely. Fatigue, weakness, numbness in the extremities. Sound familiar? The form matters here too. Look for pyridoxal 5-phosphate. That's P5P. It's the active coenzyme form. Your body doesn't need to convert it. It goes straight to work. Standard pyridoxine, the form in most cheap supplements, requires conversion in your liver. That conversion becomes less efficient with age. Some people can barely convert it at all. Dose range for circulation support is typically 25 to 50 milligrams of P5P daily. Don't go higher without supervision. Unlike B12, B6 can cause issues in excessive amounts over long periods. Take it with food. Morning or afternoon works. Some people find it slightly energizing, so avoid taking it right before bed. Now let me tell you about Robert. He's 72, retired electrician. Came to me frustrated because his legs would cramp violently at night. He'd wake up 3-4 times, grabbing his calves in pain. His wife was exhausted too. Nobody was sleeping. Robert's diet looked decent on the surface, but when we dug deeper, he was barely eating any of the foods rich in B6. No chickpeas, no poultry. His vegetable intake was limited. He had a meat and potatoes routine that had served him well for decades, but was now working against him. We added P5P, 35 milligrams daily with breakfast. Within 3 weeks, the nighttime cramps dropped from nightly to maybe once a week. By month 2, they were rare. He told me he felt like he'd gotten his nights back. His wife thanked me more than he did. Now let me tie all of this together, because taking these vitamins randomly won't give you results. Strategy matters. Start with mixed tocopherol vitamin E, 200 to 400 IU daily with your fattiest meal. Add B12, methylcobalamin, 1,000 to 2,000 micrograms daily, sublingual, morning. Add B6 in the P5P form, 25 to 50 milligrams daily with food, morning or early afternoon. Give it time. Most people notice initial changes in 4 to 6 weeks, but real improvement in circulation markers takes 3 to 6 months. This is biology changing, not a quick fix. Track your progress. Pay attention to specific symptoms. How far can you walk before discomfort starts? How often do you get nighttime cramps? Does the cold sensation in your feet improve? Keep a simple log. If possible, retest your homocysteine levels after 3 months of consistent B vitamin supplementation. Seeing that number drop is incredibly motivating, and it confirms the approach is working inside your body, not just in your perception. Now let me address something you might be wondering. Why haven't I heard this from my doctor? It's not a conspiracy, it's a system problem. Medical training focuses heavily on pharmaceutical intervention. Vitamins get a few hours in the entire curriculum. Most physicians are brilliant at diagnosing disease and prescribing medications, but nutritional therapy, it's rarely covered in depth. Plus, appointment times are short, 7 to 10 minutes on average. That's barely enough time to address your main complaint, let alone dive into optimizing your vitamin levels for vascular health. This isn't your doctor's fault. They're doing the best they can in a broken system, but it does mean you need to advocate for yourself. Bring the information you've learned today. Ask specifically about these tests and these interventions. A good doctor will listen, and if they dismiss nutritional approaches entirely without considering the evidence, it might be time for a second opinion. Let me also talk briefly about what won't help. Cheap synthetic multivitamins from the discount store shelf. The forms are wrong, the doses are too low, the absorption is poor. You're essentially paying for expensive urine. Mega dosing without strategy. More is not always better, especially with fat-soluble vitamins like E. Too much can cause problems. Stick to the ranges we discussed. Expecting overnight miracles. Your circulatory system didn't get damaged overnight. It won't heal overnight. Patience and consistency are your actual medicine here. Ignoring other factors. Vitamins work best as a part of a comprehensive approach. Movement, hydration, managing blood sugar, and quitting smoking if you still do. The vitamins amplify good habits. They can't replace them. One more thing. Don't underestimate the power of testing before and after. Ask your doctor for a comprehensive metabolic panel, homocysteine level, and B12 level before you start. Then test again at 3 and 6 months. Seeing objective improvement on paper does something to your motivation. It transforms this from hope into evidence, your own evidence. The research supporting these 3 vitamins for circulation is not fringe science. Studies on B12 and homocysteine go back decades. The relationship between B6 and nitric oxide production is well established. Vitamin E's role in platelet function and red blood cell flexibility has been studied extensively. What's newer is the understanding of optimal forms and the synergy between these nutrients. The realization that treating them as isolated compounds misses the point. Your body uses them together. You should supplement them together. If you've tried circulation supplements before and been disappointed, consider this. You might have been taking the wrong forms. You might have been taking incomplete combinations. You might not have given it enough time. Or you might have been working with a baseline deficiency in one area that sabotaged results in another. This 3-vitamin approach addresses the most common gaps. It's not everything, but for many people, it's the missing piece. Let's bring this home. You came to this video looking for answers about circulation in your legs after 60. What you found is a clear, science-backed protocol that addresses root causes most people never consider. Mix tocopherol vitamin E to keep your blood cells flexible and your vessel walls healthy. methylcobalamin B12 to clear homocysteine and protect your blood vessels, P5P B6 to support nitric oxide production and complete the homocysteine pathway. 3 vitamins, right forms, right doses, right timing. Not complicated, not expensive, but powerful when applied consistently. Imagine walking further without pain. Imagine waking up without cramps. Imagine feeling warmth return to your feet on cold mornings. That's not a fantasy. That's the experience of thousands of people who finally addressed the vitamin gaps undermining their circulation. You now know exactly what to do. The only question is whether you'll do it. Start today, not tomorrow, today. Order the right forms, begin with vitamin E, add the others over the coming weeks, track your progress, be patient, and let me know how it goes. I read every comment. Your success story might help someone else who's struggling right now. Now, if you found value in this video, smash that like button. It tells YouTube to show this to other people who need this information. And subscribe if you haven't already. Hit the bell icon. We release new research-backed health content every week. Next, I want you to watch the video appearing on your screen right now. It covers the specific foods that boost circulation naturally. Perfect companion to what you learned today. Click it now. I'll see you there.